mortal humans. The devilish leader back again with the long-awaited part 4 of my explanation of the entire Five Nights at Freddy's lore. This time we're actually in a map of the movie set of the office based on the actual movie. V is what I got for our background for today. Today we will be continuing off where we left off on last stream, which was right when all the court stuff and name changes have been made, aliases have been made, and the death of Mrs. Afton becoming Ballora has all been made. So now we're going to be jumping into the events of the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, and possibly some additional answers that get answered from the movie, because in the games not really much happens in the games besides you work in there for a week and then you get fired. And the movie does kind of fill in some things that does help a lot with the actual full story as well. So we're gonna jump straight into that, and so everybody strap in, because you're coming along with me for the ride. If y'all hear any background commentary, that's because I'm accompanied by my friends Sasha and Dollar Bill. If either of them want to chime in, they can. And with that being said, Nightwalkers, assemble!
So how's everybody's night? I hope everyone's had a good night and a good day today. We're gonna try and end this really nice and strong and smooth, and continue where we left off on the with the FNAF lore. And I really like this map. It's got the office fan playing in the background, and it has like the main background or ambiance in the background. There it is as well, and I really like it. Speaking of horror games, I'm honestly going back into more of the horror games and hearing that Bendy and the Ink Machine is getting a movie. I'm thinking about streaming Bendy and the Ink Machine just for the heck of it, just to visit it again and live on stream, just to see it again. If you guys want to see a stream of me playing Bendy and the Ink Machine, let me know either in the chat or in the comments on YouTube. When this goes on YouTube, let me know, and if y'all want it, I'll make it happen. So how should I start this? Because even with the amount of information we got out of the movie, there's still a lot of mystery with the first one, and there's a lot of stuff that's not really explained in the first one, other than just you playing as a guy named Mike Schmidt, who we now know is just an alias to Michael Afton. Mike is struggling financially to try and keep a place for him and Abby, and I am not fully in the zone. I cannot think straight. Guess I'll have a lot of editing to do before I put this on YouTube. That's Bonnie's copyrighted guitar on the poster. Oh hey, look, Caveman Films is on. So it looks like if he's still on by the time we finish this, we're gonna be rating him, or I will rate him. So he ends up meeting a guy named Steve Raglan, and he offers him a job, and it's a security gig in night shifts. The way I see it, since the place is abandoned, by the 90s, it was open, or the place was open in the 90s, but then unknown to this day still, stuff has happened and caused it to shut down, and by 2003 now, I guess, apparently, that date has been changed.
Freddy.
Hi, Freddy.
I drew Freddy.
Sasha is drawing pictures of animatronics.
I did the old Tumblr style for the book eye.
I see.
I might do another sketch where it's even bigger.
Oh God. You know what you should do for a drawing? Draw our animatronics. I believe I had another like marker drawing of Paris that someone drew for me, but I don't know where it's disappeared to. And then I had another the very first drawing of Paris that you know who drew for me, but I don't know where that's disappeared to as well. Don't even say his name.
No, I was just gonna say Cave.
Don't even say his name. I don't have that either. I wish I did. I wish I had both of them because they were both really good drawings of. They were both really good drawings of her. But I don't know where either of them have went. No, don't draw them like that. That's cringe. That's cringe.
No. You just did a cringe. You're going to lose subscribers.
No, this is just the stumpiest part. Still, is FNAF 1. We have.
When he was making FNAF 1, he never knew this shit was gonna happen.
Yeah.
True. But then
he added lore to it. It was just more of the kids, like the kids going missing. That was all it was really lore-wise.
But yeah, the newspaper writings we got from FNAF 1 are actually from the first location. How they got here, we don't know. I mean, we do get Marionette. Marionette is in the third location. Or after it shuts down, Marionette goes over there. And what does Marionette do? He checks on the spirits and sees they're somehow still inside. Because when they refurbished the Wizards into the FNAF 1 classics, they used the same circuit boards. They just took the old circuit boards out of the Wizards and put them into the FNAF 1s.
Basically what they did is they took most of their innards and used that, but then completely redid their shells and stuff.
Hey guys, Shoutout the Devilish Leader here, and just to give you a quick warning, the graphic content up ahead, if you guys are sensitive to like blood and death related content, skip ahead to the timestamp I have in the description. If not, then here you go. You've been warned.
And with not knowing to anybody, the spirits of the dead kids were inside of the circuit boards. The main circuit boards of the animatronics, so...
I mean, who would think to check an animatronic of dead kids?
Exactly.
I mean, you got a good point there.
And what's even weirder is the Wizards have dead bodies in them. The Wizards do have dead bodies in them.
How did they not find the bodies when they refurbished those animatronics?
Because they didn't find them. I don't know. That question.
They should have at least, found like a skeleton or something. Even at that point, there should.
Sort of remain, yeah.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, how long the difference between when the Wizards were shut down, when the kids were killed, and FNAF 1 happened?
1985 to 1993.
Yeah, there should have been plenty of remains left. That is not long enough for bones to decompose at all.
Is that long enough for bones to start showing?
Oh yeah, that's definitely long enough for the skin and stuff like that to decompose mostly. Sorry if this is getting graphic for you guys.
Sorry. There's really not much to say. You can get some information. It's going to be a little confusing if I try to say it, but you can watch the FNAF movie for some of that stuff. I will say towards the end that we do know for certain happens, and that's obviously William Afton eventually
Hold on. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen the movie. Now continue.
This wasn't spoiling to the movie because this doesn't happen in the movie. William Afton finds out that the spirits of the dead kids are still somehow inside. So he takes his own spirit and consciousness and puts them inside of a circuit board as well, specifically the circuit board for the Spring Bonnie animatronic, and then goes to the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 location and well, now I guess I wouldn't say dismantled because of the movie, but he goes into believing that the yellow rabbit is their friend. And he uses that to his advantage when he attempts to kill Mike. But last minute, Abby makes another drawing, and okay, now this is spoilers to the movie.
Yeah.
If you have not watched the FNAF movie, skip this part and move on to the next part. Turn back now. I'll put a timestamp down to where you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear spoilers of the ending of the FNAF movie. Abby draws another drawing which shows that the yellow rabbit is the one that murders him, and we get that dramatic scene of Abby telling William they can see you now and they know what you did. This releases the spirits into free will control, pretty much. And what's the first thing they do when they get free will? They get pissed. And they immediately start attacking William. The cupcake launches at him and rips off a piece of his suit, which sets off the spring locks. One by one, each spring lock throughout the entire suit starts going off and injecting the metal animatronic parts in through and inside of his body, his own body. That's where he then, for whatever reason or another, puts on the helmet, or the Spring Bonnie head, and sang for his first time his iconic line, "I always come back." And then...
That's a really good impression.
Yeah.
Thank you. That line was said by me, by the way. That was... Matthew Lillard mouthed it, and I was the one saying it into a microphone.
Yeah, right.
While Matthew Lillard mouthed it as he was putting on the suit.
What's the money for that?
You would have gotten paid like crazy, man. You would, well, pay much.
FNAF, please. Scott, please. Please. If you can hire a random 12-year-old girl that no one knew even was alive before the movie, then you could get me, because I'm pretty much that too.
Who wouldn't want to be in one of the FNAF movies? Especially somebody who likes Five Nights at Freddy's.
The actress, the little girl who plays Abby, her real name is Piper Rubio. I don't really know how to pronounce it. It's spelled Rubio, but her real name is Piper, I guess. Her real name is Piper. And apparently Josh Hutcherson, on his recent like Google search video thing, I forgot what it was called, he mentioned on one of his FNAF questions, because like a lot of his were FNAF questions, he said that Piper is a big FNAF fan, and she explained to him the entire lore front to back, and it took her 2 hours to do it. And he said she told me who every character is and where they fit along in the story and what happens at what time and everything. But was he able to process all that and remember everything? No. And I react to that like, of course not.
That made it even more cursed.
How do you ruin what is already destroyed?
How do you ruin something that's already been messed up? How do you make something that's cringe more cringe?
That's just my talent.
No, that's not talent, that's cringe. So William eventually gets crushed to death in the Spring Bonnie suit, and he gets trapped in, and the spirits lock him inside. Not only lock the door, to the safe room, but then they also put a fake brick wall over the door. So that, and supposedly now the story is the year has been changed. He was crushed to death in 2003, according to the movie. So with that, knowing that logic, the now William and the Spring Bonnie suit now forged together as Springtrap at this point officially will now be sealed away in this room for the next 20 years.
I have another theory.
What?
What if Mike name, like his name is actually just Mike, and his dad's name was Michael, and Michael Schmidt went to the place and got fired. That's why Steve Raglan recognizes his name as Mike Schmidt, because he recognized that Michael Schmidt, his father, worked there. Possibility, I don't know. I was just putting.
But then
putting dots
Michael is William's son.
Well, we don't know that yet. That's not confirmed yet.
Not in a movie, but we know in the
game.
we know in the games and the
game
book,
is confirmed.
it's
In the game.
Michael. Michael is William's or William is Michael's father.
Now that could
and,
change based off the second.
Michael is William's eldest son.
Because the second movie, if y'all don't know, has been confirmed and is working on a script, or is about. They're gonna start filming this year.
Matter of fact, they started filming now.
Yeah.
They said February of 2024. They're filming of the second movie. It was gonna begin. Script,
I saw some concept art.
which means script is already fully written.
Yeah. I did see some concept art
So-
of what maybe a toy animatronic might look like the face of like Toy Freddy. And
So-
the rosy cheeks are actually going to be more crystally looking than they are
Well-
going to be like.
Well, that's the thing. They're more plastic, like
Yeah, like plastic crystals.
like they're supposed to be like shiny.
Yeah.
And
those
more
fake
colorful.
plastic the fake plastic geometric crystals.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
Yeah.
saw. And I was like, are they going to do that, or are they going to do it just regular?
The first leak I saw for the second movie is the making of Marionette.
Yeah.
Marionette's gonna be in the second
We
one.
know that one's confirmed.
That's been confirmed. Oh, where do I go now for FNAF 1? Cause the next game in chronological order after FNAF 1 is Sister Location.
There it is.
So where do I go from there? Hello, everybody who's joining in. We're just chatting, talking about FNAF lore.
Oh, somebody in the chat.
There's somebody. Anyway, the next game, that's all I really know. The next game in chronological order after FNAF 1 is Sister Location. And that's when Michael goes down to try and... He was sent on a mission by William to try and rescue Elizabeth and piece together what's left of her in the form of Circus Baby. But that's when Michael discovers, while he's watching his favorite show, The Immortal and the Restless, that there have been 2 animatronics out of them all that stand out.
I know.
That stand out from the rest, and that's Circus Baby and Ballora. Where Circus Baby and Ballora sound like actual people, you know? Like, if you listen to voice lines of Circus Baby and Ballora, they sound like actual people. Unlike Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Bon Bon, Biddy Bab, literally every other animatronic, they all sound like robots. But Circus Baby and Ballora stood out because the 2 of them don't sound like animatronics, they sound like real people, because inside they are real people. What are you looking at? Oh god, that's a cringe.
That's so
That
bad.
is the cringiest marionette mask I've ever seen. They have to put in marionette. Marionette's a big character.
They're definitely putting the marionette in there.
Marionette has to be in it somewhere. Marionette's a big character. This location takes place at some point between the years 2003 and 2023, which is just last year. I know, right? 2023 was just last year. When Michael goes back on the 5th night, he wants to try to confront Circus Baby and or Ballora. Now that he has his answers and he knows what's going on, exactly what's going on.
Dang, that's how old this paper is?
What?
This is from Griffin.
Yeah. But that's when he gets told by Hand Unit that Circus Baby needs repair in the parts and service room. So he goes to the parts and service room and he tries to confront Circus Baby, but she doesn't seem like herself. He does what she says in the attempt to try and help her. So he ends up taking her suit to the scooping room, and then she tells him to fall back to go to the scooping room himself, but to be careful that Ballora would follow him and try to catch him if he makes a wrong move and doesn't listen to what she says.
And if you go the opposite direction, you get the secret room.
That's a fake ending. And you also have to play the Easter egg minigame and get the secret from it in order to access it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's So Michael then goes into the scooping room, and what does he hear? He hears this. Warning, you've entered a highly dangerous area. You entered through vent shaft B, reserved for cleaning and repair of the scooper. Entering this side of the room is completely prohibited to all unauthorized personnel. Then Circus Baby begins talking to Michael, saying, "You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today. Ballora has already been here today. Circus Baby has already been here today. I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always trap us inside. There's nowhere for us to hide. There's nowhere for us to go when we look like this." Circus Baby, quote unquote, Circus Baby says, as he steps up in front of the glass and reveals who's really talking to you. All of the animatronics scooped their shells off to be able to forge all of their endoskeletons together into an amalgamation of parts and wires named Ennard. And they named this body Ennard. That's how we get the name Ennard.
Yeah, people kept calling him Enard.
Yep, people kept they pronounced it as Ennard, or I've heard an Enard as well. Enard.
What?
But it's just Ennard. It's just Ennard. Ennard.
Yeah, like your innards.
Yeah, it's supposed to resemble like your inners. His body's made entirely out of animatronic inners, so make it sound like a name. Pronounce it like a name and spell it like a name. Ennard. E-N-N-A-R-D. Ennard. Then Ennard finishes with, if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment. And that's when he turns on the scooper and Michael gets scooped. Michael gets scooped and killed.
All of his organs and stuff.
Everything, from his organs to his skeleton, or his organs and his skeleton, everything.
I don't think his whole skeleton got put out. I think it was just more the upper part, and then the rest of it kind of like down.
How else could Ennard fit inside?
Well, remember he's wired, so probably just moved out of the way of the skeleton, just slithered his body through.
So now Michael's dead. Michael is dead, and Ennard took his body to be able to escape the bunker. And how was Ennard able to do that? Can anybody answer that question? How was Ennard able to do that? Or how was Ennard able to know how to use the scooper and then wear Michael's skin as a suit to be able to leave? Do you know? Come on. Elizabeth and the Mrs. Afton. They are both inside of Ennard.
Yeah.
Ennard has 2 spirits and a crap ton of remnants. This is where Remnant comes into the play, guys. But what is Remnant? Do y'all know what Remnant is?
The souls of the undead children.
Of several people grinded together. Grinded. And it gives immortality. Before William got crushed to death by the Springlocks in the Spring Bonnie suit, he injected himself with Remnant using the scooper. Or he used the scooper to inject himself with Remnant. So that's the reveal of how William survives, being his entire body being crushed to death and then molded and decayed for 20 years, locked up in a room with no air or airflow even on top of that for 20 years. And then he comes out still alive and breathing perfectly fine.
I wouldn't say perfectly fine. His body kind of decayed a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He looks like that physically, but when it comes to him himself, he feels like he's perfectly fine. Like he survived that as if nothing happened because of the remnant inside of him. Obviously, Michael's body starts to turn green and decay, right? But then it starts to turn blue, and then purple. Eventually, Ennard, Michael's body is decayed to a point where Ennard can't stay in it much longer. He has to leave. So Ennard takes Michael's body to a nearby sewer, like a sewer grate on the side of the road, and spits himself out. He bails into the sewer. So Michael's body then just sits there like an empty shell of a man, because that's what Michael's body is now. Hello, Coleman 1536 E6 E8. How are you? What's 100 times 100 for a follow? What?
100 times 100 would be 10,000.
Yeah. Simple math. 100 times 100 is 10,000. I'm good. How are you? I hope you enjoy the stream, cool man. I'm just gonna say cool man. We're just chatting about FNAF lore. We've just got to Ennard bailing from Michael. He bails into the Ennard bails into the sewer, leaving Michael in the middle of the sidewalk. But then, in Circus Baby's voice, he starts chanting, "You won't die, you 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 will not die, you will not die, you won't die!" Ennard gets silent, and Michael stands up. And get it, Michael is just an empty shell at this point. He's an empty skin shell of a man. A corpse. He has no insides, no skeleton, no muscles, no organs, nothing. Just the flesh shell of a man. Oh, thank you. See, someone likes it when I scream into the microphone. Look at that.
Well, I was only saying that because it's pretty late.
Some people like it when I scream into the microphone. Anyway, Michael stands up. He has no skeleton and no muscles or organs in his body, but he stands up. Don't die. You won't die. You won't die. This guy's loving it. Oh, hi. My friend Sasha's drawing fan art of animatronics, and she just drew a glam rock Bonnie, and it actually looks really nice. That looks really good.
I mean, I'm working with Sharpie here, so I don't have erase abilities, but if I did, it would be a lot nicer. Here, let me show you a picture, actually.
Love the stream. Thank you, cool man. This guy's loving it. Look at him.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
If you like this and you want to see more, be sure to follow me on Twitch and subscribe to my YouTube. I have links on the top of the chat for my YouTube. And then if you want, you can also... Oh, that looks cool. You can contact me. You can hop on my Discord server. I have a link to that on the top of the chat as well. If you want to hop on my Discord and be a part of the Nightwalkers, that's the name of my follow group.
Because if you weren't here for that posting, it might not show up in the chat.
Oh, the one in my chat right now is the most recent one.
Yeah, but sometimes Twitch won't show it, depending on how long it's been since that chat. If it's not there, then I can send you another one. I have the Twitch and everything already set up. I can just send you
No, I don't use Twitter. I don't use Twitter either. I just have Twitch, YouTube, and Discord.
I use Twitter, but I mean I have Twitter. I just don't really.
I don't use Twitter. Hey, do you guys want to be raid caveman films with me? For those of you who don't know, Remnant basically makes things immortal if you put Remnant inside of something. So like, you can't be killed. You could someone with Remnant inside, you could stab them in the heart and they could still breathe and live because of Remnant. Basically, Remnant keeps things from dying, and it does have a weakness though. You're not completely immortal if you have Remnant inside of you, but because Remnant can be removed out of someone by burning it. So now here's the theory I have about Molten Freddy. We're going into Molten Freddy now with Ennard in the sewer now. My opinion for that is... Oh, thank you, cool man. My opinion for what's his name, Ennard and becoming Molten Freddy and Scrap Baby is Molten Freddy and Scrap Baby are two halves of Ennard. Like, Ennard has two spirits inside of him. amongst the amount of... Yes, Shredder the Devilish Leader.
Why? Is there something you want to say to me? Huh? Say it to my face. I dare you to say it to my face.
Anyway. That is Shredder's voice. That is Shredder's voice. That's what my character Shredder sounds like. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the support, man. This is a good ending. Don't you think? For this part, we covered FNAF 1 and Sister Location.
Yeah, it was a good one. And we threw a little bit of tidbits to the future.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be next. We're diving into more future events. Cause I mean, next one we're probably gonna talk about FNAF 3 and Pizza Simulator, which is the very end of it.
So, alrighty guys, it's time to raid Caveman Films. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Shredder the Devilish Leader bidding you farewell as we go raid Caveman Films. Raiding now.